Hi all, I've got a somewhat rare treehouse beer. It is Bbbrighttt with Citra. So this is the first time I was ever able to get this one. See, it says with Citra there. I think the Citra ones are always orangish yellow, like the same color as as like Tornado, Hurricane, which has Citra in it, and Julius, which of course is primarily Citra. They don't tell you that. But this one is all Citra hops. So yeah, I did a re-review of regular Bright, the Mosaic version, yesterday, and I wasn't totally sure if it was a single hop Mosaic, but with a little bit of research and some people kind of conversing with Treehouse on Twitter, it seems like all the Brights, yes, are single hops, but they're not single malt. That's what this other person thought it was, but they said it's two-row pale malt and then carafoam. Which doesn't really do that much to it. Basically, carafoam, I can't remember, is it add a little body? I know Carapils is supposed to add maybe a little body and head retention, but most of those ones I think are just, they're not going to add lots of flavor like caramel malts or anything. So this was canned on November 14th. So that was 11 days ago. It's 7.8% alcohol, and I did have this once since I got it, and it was pretty good, but I'm going to dive in a little deeper now. And I noticed that, yeah, all these Brights, the Brights especially, are really clear on top of the can. And yeah, they're generally the least cloudy of the Treehouse IPAs, so I'm going to try to get a good amount of the stuff on the bottom in there, because it tends to add body and flavor and even aroma. So it looks very nice, looks just like all the other Brights. Really nice head, big bubbles, soapy, but there's some dense bubbles in there. I can tell it's gonna stick around. And you know, it's not murky. It's all the Brights, you can kind of see your fingers shadow through there pretty well. And I'm getting a big aroma. Yeah, so they use a quote-unquote clean American ale yeast, but all the Brights seem to have a similar kind of almost bubblegum thing going on. I'm betting that it has a little bit to do with them using a lot of hops during fermentation, where it blows off a lot of the green, dank character, and you get the fruitier character, and maybe with this American ale yeast it kind of helps to do that more. But this one is very, very candy forward. Like the Mosaic Bright regular one was a little bit of a dank quality and was very, very peach forward. This is definitely very orange juicy, but has all these candied notes that I noticed in the regular Bright too. And if I inhale really hard, there is a general light dank quality, but it's also, yeah, cotton candy bubblegum. Same thing I said about Bright. I guess this is Bbbrighttt, so it's supposed to be a little bit more intense. Maybe it is a little bit. I should have done a side-by-side maybe. But it's got more orange in there, more candied oranges and tangerines, and it's definitely pineapple-y. And maybe a little bit of passion fruit going on. But you can tell it's all Citra, but I mean, it's different from some other all Citra IPAs I've had. Definitely their style and this cleaner yeast is, you know, making just the candy notes come out somehow. It smells good. And maybe a little bit more body than the regular Bright. A little bit more bitter. But it doesn't have that plasticky peach ring thing that I get from the Mosaic Bright. The finish is almost, what I would say, cleaner, but with a lingering pineapple, almost coconut, very tropical, almost pina colada thing going on. That's why I really like Citra. Still not that big, soft, billowy body that you get from Treehouse's IPAs with their standard yeast strain. Let's see, a little bit of grapefruit bitterness comes in, which is nice, because I find the regular Bright to be a little bit too sweet for my tastes. I like a little body, a little texture, and a little bitterness in my hazy IPAs. Well, that's just a big tropical fruit cocktail. V8 Splash. I mean, it's got peach in it too, but it's just a little bit different from Mosaic. I mean, Mosaic and Citra are pretty similar, but they aren't directly related like Simcoe and Mosaic. It's a pretty good beer. I bought a lot of it, probably bought a little more than I wanted, but I think if you're not into the big, thick, yeasty IPAs, but you love Citra, this is definitely the one to go with. It is pretty clean, but bringing out lots of the candied notes of Citra, cotton candy, bubblegum. Not as big an estery as a Belgian IPA, but it's still really confusing to me how this is like cleaner than the Treehouse yeast. So I can tell the Treehouse yeast has a really unique, strong character to it. But this yeast is not, like I said in the last video, it's not like the Sierra Nevada Chico yeast either. I wonder, yeah, if there is another brewery that makes cleaner IPAs that uses a yeast similar to this, or I wonder like if they started off using some commercially available American yeast strain and it's maybe morphed over time. But I would be interested in what that yeast strain is. I should maybe look up some homebrew clone recipes and stuff. But this is just very candy. I guess maybe it's a little more complex than Bright. It's got the tropical notes, the candy notes, the citrusy notes, all that going on. And it seems like there's a little bit more bitterness, yeah, because of the Bbbrighttt thing. I don't know if you can see the 3 B's overlapped and the 3 T's, but that just means that it's not exactly, they don't call it double dry hopped, they just call it more hops in the kettle and more dry hops. But it doesn't seem that much different. It isn't a huge explosionally different. It just gives it a little more body, a little bit more intensity. But it's not really blowing me away. I like it very much. And I probably just give this one like a 4.25 also. Honestly, it's pretty similar to Hurricane. They're Simcoe and Citra double IPA at 7.5%. But that uses their standard yeast strain, but it's also, not even smaller of a double IPA than this, so it's kind of a similar body to that. Maybe I should pour in the bottom, see if anything special happens. It is very beautiful looking. Yeah, now it's about the same amount of haze. I don't think, I didn't get any chunks in there or anything. Yeah, it's really good, but all about the sweet candy citrus tropical stuff. It's still a little bit too sweet for my taste, honestly, but I would say it deserves a 4.25. It's giving you lots of fun Citra. So I'm gonna try to end this review earlier than the last two. So that's it, bye.